you so much for inviting me over. Yeah, I've been wanting to hang out outside of class. It's just been so hard today. Did you seriously invite them? You didn't even consult me. Ask if I wanted them to hang out. No, it's fine. I mean, you can't ask them to leave. They already got here. We have to just deal with the repercussions of it. No, it's fine. They're staying. Anyway, yeah, I had a really bad day today. I just, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you know? Yeah. Just, so tired today. I just couldn't do it. You know, I didn't have that spunk in me. Oh my gosh, yeah. And then Jimmy was like, oh, you're not goth. Just because my makeup was a little lighter than it normally was. I went and redid it, after school, but it's like goth isn't a look. It's a mindset, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, they caught me on the correct day. I just, like I said, I wasn't having it. I know. I do have a box of wasps prepared that I plan on putting in their car. Yeah. You won't snitch, right? I'm not talking to you. Yeah. Around this time of year, the wasps are more dormant, but once they kick on their heat in their car, it's gonna be pretty crazy. Yeah, so as I was saying, I have some thoughts on video games and just other things that I just want to ramble on about. Is that okay? Oh my gosh, thanks. Yeah. So, have you seen... Can you turn around, please? Turn around. So anyway, like I was saying, the Veil card comes out tomorrow. Yeah, Dragon Age. And I have thoughts on it. I know that a lot of people are talking about it, and I have always said that I'm a fan of Dragon Age, and I do hear their criticisms of how it looks, and I've always been very much impartial, I suppose, or I try to be. But then you see these things online about people freaking out because of the art style, and is it my favorite art style? No. But at the same time, I really don't give a crap what the art style looks like. To be super honest, I play a lot of 64-bit games. I mean, with Stardew Valley, all of the characters honestly look pretty not that great, but I still play and love the game. There are so many games I've played that have had such trash graphics, and the art style has been trash, but I've still really enjoyed the game. So I don't really care about the art style. That's not number one for me. Of course, it's a little bit of a negative though. The thing is, as long as it's better than Inquisition, which was so, I don't know, some of the characters looked great, but the main character, it was absolutely impossible to make them look good in any way. Oh, trust me, I tried. Yeah, impossible. And so I watched a review today, and honestly, I see what they're saying in terms of like, so all of the like culture war stuff is absolutely drives me insane, because if you played any game in like the early 2000s or 90s, all these things that they complain about were in those games as well. It's ridiculous. So like, first of all, their opinion is zero. It doesn't make any sense to me. But at the same time, like, I really want to look cute when I play my games. I prefer to have like cuter looking, I don't know, in my daily life, you know, I look the way I do and I like the way I look, but I want to look like a cuter version of myself when I play video games, because it's fantasy, right? And then, you know, you just, I guess that's just my opinion. It's nice to have more attractive characters in video games, and a lot of people were talking up Stellar Blade. You know Stellar Blade, right? No? Well, yeah, that one with like, you know, it's like hanging out, if you know what I mean. Like, it's all out. And I'm not like super against that or anything, you know, but it was like, it was too much. It was not for me. It was like beyond. But I tried playing the game. Personally, I did. I thought, well, if it's a good game, whatever, sure, I'll try it out. And everyone was saying, oh, this is such a good game, such a good game. And honestly, the combat, pretty fun. But it got old really quick. I feel like I only played about, I want to say an hour or two, maybe 3 hours of the game before it just got so boring, because the character had the personality of like a rock. I mean, honestly, some rocks have better personalities than the main character in that one. And oftentimes the main characters do have personalities of rocks. That's not something you know, that's new for main characters. But even the side characters in the story, it was just like, I don't know. It was so boring because of that. So I dropped it. So, you know, I'm sure they made a lot of sales, but are people even playing the game? Hard to say. Anyway, back to what my point was. I think the biggest thing is people are talking about like, oh, the characters like aren't hot these days. And what it really comes down to is, I think they're hot, if you know what I mean. Like, I think it's all subjective. Like, we all have brain rot and we're all on the internet far too much, and we see incredibly attractive you know, people, all types, and it's over filtered, just AI crap. And so we just get the idea of attractive being airbrushed and perfect. And that's why I like games that have characters that look real, because I find that attractive personally. Like in Arcane. Oh my gosh, so excited. Yeah, Arcane, yeah, I'm so excited that their new show is coming out. But something I really loved about their character design is that they had asymmetrical faces and they just looked more real, like real characters. And that's something I quite like, and something I find beautiful. Because when you have characters that are super symmetrical and they have the quote-unquote like perfect face, you know, that Instagram face or whatever, they don't even look real and they feel soulless. They feel soulless. That's the way I feel about it. And I know that these are like hot issues right now to talk about, and I know it's like a crazy opinion, to talk about these opinions these days, but it's really not. I think most people don't care and just want a good game, In the end, who cares if it's a good game? I'm gonna end up liking the characters anyway. Like, for example, Solus, he's the skinny elf from Inquisition. He's the main character, or the main bad guy in the next one, in Veilguard. The first time I played the game, Inquisition, I was like, who's this skinny bald dude? Who cares? But the more you get to know the character, personally, I'm like, oh my god, he's the most attractive character in the game now. Just because you like the character. And that's really how it works. So, I don't know. And that's one part of just everything. What was the other thing that was kind of bothering me? Oh, the other thing that was really bothering me about the game that's making me really nervous about Veilguard is I'm super into the lore of Veilguard, or just Dragon Age in general, and I'm very excited to be into Winter, but at the same time, I'm a little annoyed that the only options that carry over from Inquisition is who you romanced as the Inquisitor, because there were so many decisions in that game that really changed the world of Thedas, which is the Dragon Age setting, and not having those as options to import over just feels like I'm just a little worried about lore-wise. But I did see one review that said that they thought it was the best Dragon Age story / game in this series so far. The people who reviewed it. So, yeah. I also saw one review that said that the companions are very friendly towards each other, and in general there's not much conflict between them. And I'm not really sure how to feel about that. I did like in Inquisition how some characters just genuinely hated each other, and it made it feel more like a real adventure party, because not everyone's gonna love each other. Kind of like in Baldur's Gate. I feel like by the end, some of them were good friends, and others really could care less about each other. So, I do like that because it makes it feel more real. But in Dragon Age 2, I think they went overboard with the companions hating each other. They hated each other the whole game, and they never stopped hating each other. None of the companions were likable, and that's okay. I like companions that aren't completely likable, because again, it makes them feel more real, and it makes a more dynamic game if the companions are allowed to do things that you don't like, and it makes a more compelling story, of course, because they're allowed to do things that, I don't know, throw a wrench in the system. And yeah. So I saw that the characters are very likable, and they like you a lot, and they like all the characters, each other, whatever. And it just, to me, that means that it's going to be a little bit bland in that department, but who's to say? We'll see. Because it was kind of funny to go back and play Dragon Age 2 after playing Inquisition. And there's these two characters, Anders and, oh my gosh, I'm having a blank. The elfie dude from Devinter. Anyway, Fenris. They hated each other the whole game. They were telling each other to go kill themselves. The whole game. Yeah. It was really intense. And I don't know. the majority of the characters by the end of the game. I didn't even like the companions. I think I romanced Fenris, but it was just like a side thing. Like, I didn't even want to romance any of them because I didn't really like any of them. But I still liked the game, if that makes sense. I don't know. I could go on to combat. I should honestly just make my own YouTube channel and review games. Just talk about my thoughts regarding games, but I think I'm gonna move on to talking about a different game different games that I've played recently. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting a call. Hello? Yeah? Did you come wearing makeup? Seriously? Yeah, the mistress of Ravenwood. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you can come hang out. That's fine. Oh, they wouldn't mind. It's totally fine. No, I actually ended up watching this movie called like Cats from Space or something like that. It's from the 1960s. Yeah, it turns out if you go onto Disney Plus and you just scroll and scroll and scroll to the end to the movies that nobody wants to watch, you'll find some very interesting ones. Yeah. Pardon me, I have to burp. Okay, never mind. Another one that I watched because I kind of turned it off halfway because it was cute at first with the cat. The cat was such a good actor. Anyway, but the story itself was just kind of lame, and it wasn't even lame in a funny way. It was lame in a boring way. So I turned on an old movie called I Set Up My Mom with a Date with a Vampire. It's from the early 2000s, I think. It was from the Disney Channel. I remember watching it when I was younger. But yeah, it was a lot of fun in terms of like nostalgia. Another one that was a little boring, but I do like to watch those old movies and see how they have aged, you know? Not necessarily in terms of like, oh, is this PC or not? But just sometimes, like for example, the main villain, or no, he was not a villain. He was the vampire hunter, not the vampire. He was wearing a fedora and they were trying to make him like look super cool. And he had like this trench coat on and he looked like a total goober. Like an absolute goober, and he was trying to act all tough and stuff, and it just, I think back in the day I would have thought, oh my gosh, he's so cool, but now I just look at him like, oh, this is kind of cringe, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know, it's just fun to rewatch them and see what you remember and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So you were gonna, okay, you're on your way? Is it okay if they come over? Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, we'll see you soon. Oh, by the way, you know, the person that sits in front of me in class, yeah, they were invited too, so just be aware that they're here. Yeah, I know. Alright, okay, I'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, where were we? Talking about video games, yeah. Which ones have you played recently? I feel like I did so much talking. Oh, I definitely have more to say, trust me. Like I said, I feel like I should start a channel or something just to like get out my thoughts on this stuff. But yeah, tell me more about what you've been playing. Silent Hill 2. Yeah. I did play the remake. It took me a while though because it was making me so motion sick. Can you hold your head still, please? I'm trying to play with your hair. Yeah. So it made me so motion sick, especially in the fog. And there's this little dot in the center that you can add to your gameplay, but they didn't do an update on the PS5 until pretty recently, like after I had started playing, where you could turn off the motion blur. And even then it didn't really help that much. Do you live near an airport? I feel like there's a lot of planes. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so it's really the combat that ended up making me feel super motion sick because there's like a shake, like a camera shake. Yeah. But overall, I really liked the story. It was actually the first time I experienced Silent Hill 2 because when I was younger, we didn't have a PS3 or whatever the system that it was on. We just didn't have it. I did get a chance to play some old PlayStation games because of friends that had one, but overall I just didn't. Yeah. But I've been experiencing them now as, an adult, which is fun. It's been fun experiencing them through the remakes and stuff. Yeah, so you did like it? It was pretty gruesome. I had no idea what was going on until the very end. Even then, I kind of had to look it up because I was just so confused as to what the heck was going on and what everything meant. And apparently, what ending you get has to do with what choices you made. And there was just one choice. I looked at a specific item, and it seems like that is what caused me to have the water ending, which is fine because the other ending, which is like the good ending, I don't know. I really liked James, the main character, throughout the whole story, and I felt like he was the only dude that was actually normal, because every time you meet up with Angela, it's like, what is this girl's deal? You find out, but she's like, she's so weird. Like, why is she acting this way? And then that other creepy guy, what's his name, Billy or something? I don't even know what his name is, because every time he showed up, I was just like, oh my god, this guy again. And the little girl, Laura, I couldn't stand Laura. She drove me insane. So I really liked James throughout the whole game until the end, and I kind of don't think James deserves the good ending. I know that that's what Mary wants for him, but I feel like there needs to be an in-between or something. I don't know. That's just my thoughts there. Yeah, that's a really good point. I do think redemption and guilt and, that was his way of atonement, so I can kind of see why, maybe he deserves that. Yeah, that's a really good point. It's just kind of brutal what he did, so, yeah. Yes, other games that I played recently, one Corekeeper? Have you played Corekeeper? I don't even know how to explain it. You're a little dude, and you're a little dude, and you're in this center of this just cave, and you have to mine your way out of it, and there's different areas, and it's really a lot of fun. So many different enemies, a lot of different bosses. I spent a lot of time playing that game. I really enjoyed it, and I honestly super the word I'm thinking of is promote, but that's recommend. Thank you. Sometimes my words lose me, but I definitely recommend it just in terms of how fun it is. But if you don't like inventory management, do not bother. So serious, yeah. There is hundreds of items in this game, and you need all of them for crafting. I'm a sucker for crafting games. I love crafting things. Like, there's this one game I played I don't want to say long time ago, like last year, called My Time at Sandrock, and the whole game is just crafting. I mean, there's a story that goes with it, but the amount of crafting, I just loved it so much. I spent so much time on that game. Yeah. It's really nice. But yeah. Just in terms of Corekeeper, I recommend it. I don't want to go too into it because I don't want to give stuff away, but it's a lot of fun, just a lot of management, and I feel as though the power scale of your character is a little lackluster. That's the only negative thing I have to say other than the inventory management. When I level up in a game and I get new gear and stuff, I want to feel more powerful, but I felt in the later levels as though my character just did the same amount of damage and had the same amount of health as the very beginning, despite having some of the end game gear. And it just, that in terms of the difficulty for me as a regular gamer, it just really went up pretty sharply. So yeah. But right now I am in between games because I'm waiting for Veilguard to come out. Are you Team Solus or are you not Team Solus? Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah. I haven't decided. I think I'm probably gonna be Team Solus, but at the same time I want to be able to be mean to him. I don't know. He's a total jerk, I know. A lovable jerk. So, oh yeah, I'm in between games. To the point where I don't want to start a new game right now because I don't want to get into something before I start Veilguard. So I downloaded Zenless Zone Zero. Yeah, have you ever played Genshin Impact? It's that, but futuristic, I guess. But also not like Genshin at all because there's no open world. You have one very small little area that you are in, and that's it. And the combat is kind of fun, but also just alright. Just a lot of button mashing, and it's always the same enemy. I think there's literally like 3 or 4 different enemies, and that's pretty much it. and you always fight them in the same small little just like circle, like circle arena, and it's the same environment every single time. So I played the game for a good amount of hours just because of sheer boredom, but the game itself, they really needed, it's got a lot to grow, let's just say that. A lot of growing needs to be done. And some of the characters, like, I don't want to be mean, but some of them are a little, you know, I could show you them individually and give my critiques, but I won't do that today. I won't do that to you. So I undownloaded that game. Yeah, and then I just re-downloaded Genshin Impact. I know it's kind of crazy to say, but I uninstalled Genshin Impact because I started to get a little bored with it. After a while, I mean, a lot of the stuff it feels the same, despite them having a lot of, like, weekly stuff. It's just too much stuff sometimes. It's just too much to do. But once you get to a certain point, there's nothing to do. Like, you have so much to do, but it's all the same boring stuff, so you have nothing to do. I have like 2 or 3 areas I haven't explored. I haven't even gone to Sumeru. No, not Sumeru. Whatever, Natlan. I did all of Sumeru. It's Natlan. Natalan? Either way, I don't even know if I plan on doing Natlan. Because it just doesn't look stylistically cool to me. And the character designs for all of them are just not even close to what I thought. And I hate to bring this up because it's just like culture wars, but I genuinely am astounded at the lack of pigmentation in these games. And all of the characters look the exact same, even though they have different color hair and different outfits. But it's the exact same because they all have the same, like, 3 shades of skin color. So it just, and they don't have a different, like, face. They all have the same model. So it just looks like the same model with different hair colors, as if, like, they just changed their hairstyle. So just because they have a different voice and a different outfit doesn't mean they look different. They all look the same. And I think that's where they also lose me, because I thought, Natlan, okay, this is the time that we're gonna get some new character design. We're gonna get some new interesting characters. And you just look at him and you're like, okay, well, you kind of dropped the ball on this one, in my opinion. Honestly, I actually thought they dropped the ball with Sumeru too. But we're not going to get into that because I don't want to raise anybody's blood temperatures here. Blood pressures. I told you I'm having an off day. I can't remember my words. I can't speak. Whatever. It's because I'm tired. But I don't want to raise anyone's blood pressure, so I'll just leave it at that. But I could talk for like 40 minutes as to why Genshin Impact is starting to get really annoying. But nevertheless, I re-downloaded it, and here I am playing it because I'm waiting for Veilguard to come out. Just mostly because I don't want to get too into a game right now. So, yeah. I could read the books that I have. Yes, that's a really good point. I have like 3 books that I should be reading right now. But again, I don't want to get involved in anything because I really want to just throw myself into Veilguard. Yeah. I feel like I've been doing so much talking. I haven't even talked about the movies that I've watched recently. You know, I tried to log on to my Neopets. I forgot my password and username. them to request my password and username to like reset everything to reactivate my account. But I might play some Neopets. Yeah. I think I've been playing a lot of video games and watching a lot of movies because, I mean, let's be honest, the election is... I hate election years. I hate them because it really stresses me out. I did already vote, yes. I did early voting. You know, you could just Google, like, your county, like where you live and where your polling office is, and most states have early voting, if not all of them. I don't know. Anyway, it's just really stressing me out, and I actually just don't want to look at the news. And it's not just that, it's like other stuff that you're reading about. And you just... I know that negative things trend, and they catch fire, and then that's what you read when you're doom scrolling, is all the negative stuff. And you have to like root through and just look through everything to find the good stuff. And it's there. It just doesn't trend like the bad stuff. So you start thinking like, oh man, the world sucks and everything and we're gonna die. But that's like so not the truth. It's not the truth at all. There's so much good and happiness in this world. It's just so hard to see it sometimes. And especially with the election right now. It's just hard to see. And I think once the election's over, we can just stop with this crazy amount of doom scrolling and just go back to normal. And, you know, whatever normal is, to where I can go on the internet without feeling a sense of dread. But for now, I just distract myself with video games. And that's my life. That's how it is. I mean, that sounds really like bad, but I've always loved to play video games. So it's not even like I'm playing more than usual, to be honest. I'm just more desperate to find video games to hold my attention. Usually it's very casual. I promise I'm a casual gamer. But yeah, I am thinking about maybe doing some review stuff. But I don't know. Just because I have a lot to say, a lot to talk about. But please, you talk. I think I'm done talking right now. I'm listening. Honestly, I could just fall asleep on your couch right now. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that'd be great. You could go now. We'd like to hang out right now. Yeah. And we have someone coming over. It's just you don't know them. So, until next time. Bye. I would like to formally apologize to anyone who thought that this goth girl video would go differently. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to my friend off to the side while I do personal attention. And I just have so many thoughts and so much to talk about that it turned into a bit of an info dump. I don't know how ASMR-y it was, but I personally, one of my favorite triggers is listening to people talk about stuff that they like, whether I care about it or not. I think when people are really interested in something and you can really hear the passion in their voice and stuff, it's just really nice to hear about. I don't know, it's heartwarming or something. I don't know. I just like listening to people talk about stuff that they like. So, yeah, and also I am tired right now. I really am, so I don't really feel like getting up. And this pillow is just really comfy. So that's why we're adding an ending to this, because I don't feel like getting up. So maybe I'll just play with the pillow a little bit more. Add that to the end. How about that? I could totally fall asleep right now. On camera, right now, in front of you. On the pillow, just... I think part of it is pillow sounds. I don't know, pillow sounds just make me so sleepy. I think a lot of people are kind of just to pillow sounds, but I really like them. The planes today really ruined parts of this video, which was super annoying, and I can hear one coming now, and maybe I should just stop it here because of the planes, actually. Okay, you know what, yeah. Let's stop the video here before the plane gets here, and I have to cut anyway, so good night.